Welcome into the Sports Game Podcast with Paul Catalina. I'm Paul Catalina, your host. This segment brought to you by Miraflora Wagyu. Go to 365 Sports Deals, click on the Miraflora Wagyu link, get yourself some of the best steaks you're ever going to have in your entire life. At a bone-in ribeye this weekend. Holy cow. It was good. I don't know if I want to eat anything ever again. Now, most of you may have seen this across the internet, from other college football creators and people like that. I got it off the Twitter of my good friend JD Piquel, and this is a wild picture, and I'll tell you many reasons why. This is Arch Manning of the Manning football dynasty and Texas quarterback sitting in the middle seat on a flight. I could go all Colin Cowherd here and tell you this is why Arch Manning's cool, and that's just why he's unassuming, and his teammates will like him because he's willing to do things like that, and that's all great. And this makes me love Arch Manning even more, in spite of the fact that he plays for the Texas Longhorns. And as a kid who grew up in an Aggie household, I can never fully get behind anything that's burnt orange for any reason. And I'm sorry, but this is a very funny picture and a very cool picture of Arch Manning. The girl sitting next to him who couldn't care less. Also, one of my favorite parts of this. But this leads me to a completely separate rant that has very little to do with Arch Manning and his future success with Texas this year, which I think will be very good. I think the Longhorns and C. Sarkisian will be great. I think their additions like Cam Coleman and others will make them way, way, way better on both sides of the ball. I'll talk about that as we get closer to the season. But I do want to talk about middle seats. And this is a channel in 365 Sports Extras where we do talk about things that are not necessarily directly related to sports. And the fact that Texas's quarterback, who comes from millionaire family, that's a millionaire himself already because of NIL, is humble enough to sit in a middle seat. And maybe he had to get somewhere that was the seat available. I don't know the story behind it, but he was a good sport about it. And big up to you, Arch Manning, for doing that. But this is about middle seats in general. The airline industry, as we know, is an absolute shit show. It is terrible. There is nothing good about it anymore. It's harder to fly. It's more expensive to fly every day. Spirit Airlines went out of business, and that's a good thing because it was a terrible company, and a bad thing because it was a cheap company that helped keep other costs down. Now, I am going to make a plea to, if there's a benevolent billionaire out there who's just not siphoning off money against the public good, I'm going to make a pitch to you. And it is right here on YouTube today, March 18th, 2026. So if you steal this idea from me, after today, I will have this. You should buy up Spirit Airlines available gates and make a regional national airline to start out with that has no middle seats. There is no reason for a middle seat. You could do 3 rows of 2 and have the same amount of people on the plane instead of 2 rows of 3 wedged in. So 3 rows of 2 all the way back. Basically, what I'm pitching is a first-class experience for everyone all the way through the flight at economy prices. This airline will bowl over your competition. Stop nickel and diming and charging for boarding groups and baggage and all that stuff. See one of America's most popular college quarterbacks here suffering in a middle seat and say no more. I will not stand at the precipice of this industry, the airline industry, which for 40 years has done nothing but get worse and screw the American consumer. The seats have gotten smaller and tighter, and I don't know what angle that you're sitting at in an airplane that you wouldn't normally sit at in any chair ever. That's not how chairs work, but somehow airlines have made it work because they put the money people in charge, and they said, hey, if we take off 6 square inches from every single seat, we can get 1 more seat on every single plane, and 1 more seat means this much money. Well, how about this? How about you take away middle seats? You let people relax on a flight. You give them free Wi-Fi. You give them free baggage, because who's going somewhere without clothes? It's absolutely insane. You make TSA much easier to get through, and everybody's comfortable on the plane. You can even make the bathroom just a little bit bigger so that you can turn around in it. That would be nice. That would be really nice. 3 rows of 2. I know maybe that means the plane has to be a little bit bigger, but you're already building big planes. Boeing, you want to save yourself? Flip around, start doing this, make quality planes again, and let's get rid of middle seats. And let's use Arch Manning as the patron saint of ending middle seats. Because look, it's not the little guy who gets things done in this country. We have long since gone caring about the little guy and his plight. But when a celebrity, a beautiful, wonderful celebrity, because that's the culture we revere in this country, not the little guy who struggles on these middle seats all the time, or the single mother who has to fly in a middle seat or get a middle seat and have a kid there and change a diaper on the plane, which actually happened to me and my wife 2 flights ago, where someone changed a diaper on the tray table. It was disgusting. Let's get back to some decorum when it comes to flying. And let's start by making it comfortable, because poor Arch Manning here, he of untold NIL millions and of the Manning family, is sitting in a middle seat. That's tragic. Look, I'll just fire up all the Longhorns in Austin. Your quarterback, of whom you've paid dearly for, who makes a lot of money, has to sit with his knees bent up. How do you think that feels for him? You think that's good for the upcoming season, where it's essentially national championship or bust? You think he's going to feel good flying in that middle seat? Or do you think that maybe we should all get together as an American people, Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, hippies, non-hippies, whatever the opposite of a hippie is, rednecks, non-rednecks, all of that. We can all get together and agree that middle seats suck, and we should get rid of middle seats. And Arch Manning, once again, is the avatar for this, the patron saint, the leader, the statue. We will support you, Arch Manning. We will not let you fly in a middle seat again. If you put me in charge of transportation in this country, no more middle seats. That's a promise I make to you. God bless America.